The Will You Grow Show goes live Sundays 9 to 10 a.m. Eastern. To receive notifications, click the subscribe button beneath this video or visit YouTube's Will You Grow channel to see more shows and videos. And now, here's Will You founder Angelique Medow with this week's Will You Grow Show.
Welcome to the Will You Grow Show. How are you? I'm Angelique, founder of Will You and WillYouGrow.com, an inspirational multimedia company that provides education and mentoring to nurture empowerment and joy. Our weekly Grow Show begins by tackling touchy subjects that'll tickle your tempestuous thoughts, fan your eternal flame, and salve your soul with hope. Halfway through, we'll take a 60-second look at what people have to say about us, and then we'll go hands-on to share tips and tools to begin implementing today's lesson into your life. Here in the studio with me today are our audio aficionado, Ben, and our video Santa, Neil.
Cello.
They help make this show happen while sharing their colorful commentary. Today's episode is sponsored by Life and Nature, who keep our hearts beating and our world turning, and by the Carrie Campbell Foundation, which supports creative video content that increases love among all people. Love that! We say thank you to the Carrie Campbell Foundation and each and every sponsor and donor. Now, on to today's topic: a debt-free state of mind. Debt may be common, but it's not carefree to carry. In today's world, debt shows itself everywhere, from our nation to our neighbors. According to Experian, in 2020, debt in the United States rose by $800 billion. And the stats on the website usdebtclock.org show that as of today, America's debt totals more than $28.6 trillion. It also shows that an average American household owes nearly $135,000, with an average debt per citizen, which includes babies and the elderly, at $85,000 per citizen. Today, we'll explore how debt can drain more than our bank accounts, and how a shift in our perspective can supply us with joyful, healthy life dividends. And money is just one of them. Now, before any newcomers get confused about what type of show this is, we intend to inspire and encourage personal and spiritual growth, also known as empowerment. We are not financial planners or consultants, and we're not selling anything. This show is about building a healthy mind, body, and soul perspective as it relates to different topics, and today's topic is about money and debt. We'll be discussing a shift in our perspective that can allow us to see and receive abundance of all sorts, including money. Money is a part of our life experience and can be a joyful part of life. Money can mean food, shelter, clothing, electricity, education, security, and clean running water. Money can also buy presents for under the Christmas tree, diamonds for our fingers, and highlights for our hair. However, what is our personal perspective on money? Do we respect our money? How well do we treat our money? Do we care about it? Does it get crumpled up and put in our pockets? Do we respectfully fold it and put it away? Do we have love for it? Do we carry disdain? Do we perceive money as something joyful, or do we perceive money as something we don't have? Something we owe to other people, and something that causes us to suffer and make us feel bad? If our perspective about money causes us to suffer, it affects our ability to enjoy our experience of life. And that is a life dividend: enjoyment. As any of us with debt may very well know, we certainly would like to enhance our enjoyment, and part of that is up to us and how we see money. So first, let's talk for a moment about the debts in our life and in our mind. Then we'll talk about how to shift to a debt-free perspective. Are we ready? Okay, let's talk about loans and debts. One loan of money is actually more than one loan. It's more than one debt. Now, don't get me wrong, loans have their place, and most of us need a loan to buy a home or attend higher education. However, we need to be aware that when we agree to a loan, we may also be silently agreeing to other debts, which may come at a price that's far higher than dollars. Loans include a debt of money, time, energy, and attention. When we agree to a financial debt, we agree to give our money, time, energy, and attention to the debt. That means we've agreed to think about the debt, to care about the debt, to take care of the debt, to pay attention to the debt, and to give our time, energy, and attention to activities that we hope will result in money to pay for the debt. This may lead us to a very long day or days or years doing things that we feel obligated to do on behalf of the debt. And these things we do may not be things that we're happy about doing. These things may not inspire us or nurture our creative spirit because we're doing them for the result of money. We're not doing them for the joy of the activity. The debt of money also includes an emotional debt and a spiritual debt. Although not outlined in any written contract, there are two more silent debts that accompany that financial debt. One is the emotional debt of fear. When we borrow money, it causes stress. And the stress is born of a fear of failure that we may not be able to repay the debt. This fear can lead to feelings of over-responsibility if we take the world on our shoulders and rely too heavily on our own abilities to work our own way out of debt. This emotional debt and stress may also drive us to behave in inhumane ways. An example of this would be if we see things around us as a method to make a profit, as a way to pay our debt or to buy more stuff, rather than seeing people, animals, land, water, and sky as divine beings with whom we enjoy life. One shift that we can make in our perspective to increase the amount of joy, the joy dividend that we can experience in life, is to accept that we are constantly provided for. We don't compete with anybody else to take our breath, do we? No, it is provided for us by the life force. We don't make our hearts beat, do we? No, we don't. Our heart beats just like in the heart of a mouse, a deer, and the earth. And it makes our food digest. We do not do any of this. And this life force that provides all of this for all of us will also provide for everything we need. We can trust this. We don't see animals taking out loans to buy houses or go to school or buy food now, do we? And somehow they seem to survive. I'm not saying that we can't or shouldn't take on a loan, but I am asking, are we aware that we are taking on fears as well? And can we afford that fear? Have we thought about how that fear might affect us? If we can't borrow money without also borrowing fear, we ought not take the loan because that fear and stress will be a far more difficult and pervasive issue and debt to get rid of than repaying the money. That second silent debt is a spiritual debt of unworthiness. When we accept money that we have not earned, it can lead us to feeling unworthy in two ways. We may feel unworthy of the beautiful things we've purchased, feeling guilty that we do not deserve them. Or we may feel overly worthy, feeling that we deserve the beautiful things that we've purchased when in our mind we have not earned them. In either case, we have judged ourselves as either unworthy or overly worthy. And when we judge ourselves, personal punishment is often close behind. Again, I'm not saying we can't or shouldn't take a loan. However, I am asking us to think, if we take this loan, how will this affect our feelings of worthiness? If we can take a loan without it making us feel undeserving or overly deserving, okay. But if not, recognize that when we take the loan, we will also be taking on issues with our self-worth, which are more invasive and difficult to deal with than money. Debt may also drive addiction. The combination of these three debts, financial obligation, emotional stress, and spiritual unworthiness, provide a perfect storm for us to feel irritable, depressed, and hopeless. And these feelings can drive us towards addictions of all sorts, as we desperately seek any way out of the feelings associated with debt. Are we doing what we don't want? A life of debt and obligation at the expense of inspiration, creativity, and joy is enough to make anyone want to jump off the wheel of life. When we feel obligated to live so we can pay bills, it can make us ask questions like, what is the purpose of life? And why am I here? We ask these types of questions when we have no joy. Our perspective about debt needs to change. We need to increase our dividends of joy. It is a live currency, and we need that in our life, even more than money. Our current concept of debt as a way of life is fairly recent. It began in the early 80s when credit cards became readily available to the general public and letters of approval arrived weekly in our mailboxes. Before then, consumer debt was far less common and fewer people were addicted, distracted, and weighed down by debt. Today, the normalcy of debt can make it seem as though it will always be present in our lives. This does not need to be true. Life wasn't always this way, and we can be debt-free again. What I'm about to say next, if we take it to heart, can shift our perspective about debt as a source of suffering and supply us with all sorts of dividends. And it's focused on our most valuable currency, our energy and attention, not our money, which is a result of where we invest our energy and attention. There are 2 free things that we can start doing today that create a debt-free state of mind. Here's the first thing we can do to create that debt-free state of mind. The best prediction of our financial future is how we invest our time and our energy now. Do we invest in activities that are worthy or wasteful? Do we donate our energetic waking hours to work that leaves us feeling bad? Do we give our time, energy, and money to smoke, drink, gossip, watching TV, doing illegal activities, or other unhealthy indulgences which drain our time and money and energy? How much time do we spend with people who drain our life energies and leave us feeling spent? If we invest in our health instead, be it physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, could that money that we might have spent on those unhealthy activities be spent toward our debt? Or could we use that time to put towards joy-filled activities? Can we invest our energetic capital, our energy, in healthy, productive activities? Now, I'm not suggesting that we work 24 hours a day so we become rich. Quite the opposite. Richness comes in a variety of shapes. Rich health, spirituality, relationships, wisdom, awareness, and finances. By simply choosing health and joy, life will provide us with dividends of health and joy. For example, if we invest in healthy eating, life may provide us with dividends of healthy bodies, good sleep, energetic wakefulness, and healthy offspring. And if we invest our energetic dollars in work that brings us joy, that we love to do, life will bring us more of that joyful work that we love and the dollars that come with it. By making choices in health and in joy, we are making direct deposits into our personal worth and receiving dividends in dollars and in our life. Our energy is more valuable than money. Instead of seeing our most valuable asset as money and what we use to pay for stuff, let's realize that our most valuable asset is life and its energy within us. If we aren't alive, we can't do anything, much less pay our bills. Since our life energy is more valuable than money, what will we choose to do with it? I suggest asking ourselves 2 questions. Does this bring me joy? And does this bring me more health? If so, do it. Do it. Take care of yourself. As we focus and choose to consciously and wisely invest our most valuable currency, our life energy, in health and joy, we make deposits into our good life account, and our financial accounts grow in tow. And we also show life and show money that we are grateful, appreciative, and want more of these things. And this leads us to the second free thing we can do to create a debt-free state of mind. Be grateful. Instead of seeing money as something that's a problem, we can be so thankful for the money and other valuable life that supports us each day. We can say thank you to our air, our water, our sunshine, and any kind of health and abilities that we have, including our money. And we can smile at ourselves and be grateful for the opportunities to share life with our friends, family, and nature. There is so much to be grateful for. And now we'll turn it over to you to consider. Will you put your money where your mouth is and invest yourself in choices that bring you health and joy? And will you choose to be grateful for the money and other goodness that's already in your life? While you think on it, we'll take a quick break to see what people have to say about us. When we come back, we'll hear what the crew has to say, and we'll talk tips, tools, and elements from Mother Nature to help us increase our dividends in health, joy, and money.
The Will You Grow Show will now take 60 seconds to check in with you. If you're wondering how to apply a Grow Show topic to your life, here's what people say about mentoring with Angelique.
So most people, when they hear willpower, they don't think can-do power. They think willpower. Willpower to do something that they really didn't want to do in the first place. If I want to eat a cookie, if I have willpower, I won't eat that cookie. But what's really still true? I really wanted to eat that cookie. It's impossible to win using that old paradigm that I think we mostly think of as in willpower. And it took me a long time to realize that when Angelique says, will you, she really means, will you? And it is a question, will you join me in doing this work? In my life, will you? I get it. I can. I will. I will be open to doing whatever the work is that calls me. I truly have appreciated and do appreciate having Angelique around. She's taught me a lot, and I think I've come to a different place and a great place because I get to know her.
This is your girl. Self-care is not selfish. If you really want to dig deep and stop living on the surface, then schedule a conversation with Angelique.
And now, back to the Will You Grow Show with Will You founder, Angelique Medow.
Welcome back. Before we talk healing tips, tools, and elements from Mother Nature, let's see what the crew has to say about today's topic.
We should have lots to say. We should combine our debt and see how much debt we have. I encourage the audience to really pay attention to this one. This is something we, as humans, all share. We all have debt, whether it's emotional, financial, whatever. And we all need to do better in how we deal with the debt, like you were talking about, and going over the 2 free steps and all of that stuff. So, and credit cards are evil. You're right. When you turn a certain age, they immediately start coming in the mail. My daughter, Zoe, who just turned 18 in May, boom, starts getting the credit card applications. And sorry, I never show them to her. I immediately take them and toss them. Because from experience, we amassed a lot of our debt at an early age. We all do, I think. I did. And it took us a long time to pay that debt down, which does lift you up. It's an amazing feeling when it happens. You paid that debt down, and it's like an enormous weight that's been just keeping you down, 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 and now you can rise up and face a better day because you have gotten rid of what has been causing you depression, anxiety, fear, all of the bad things that you just talked about in the first segment. So, I'm not like debt free. I don't think anybody's ever debt free, but we're in a much, much, much better place than we were, and that goes for financially and emotionally. You know, we both have now we both have great jobs that we love doing what we do. My wife still has the days, but she's an accountant. She deals with money on a daily basis, so that would drive anyone insane, I'm sure. But I've been fortunate to have, later in life, 2 great jobs, and that I enjoy doing, and that brings me joy. And that's what it's all about.
Something I was thinking about that's really interesting, and this is international, I'm sure, but maybe it's a little different in different places, but the opposite of, or not the opposite, but the twin of debt in this country is your credit and your credit score.
Oh my God.
Which is, to me, just a completely nonsensical system, because I went from living debt-free and my credit score wasn't going up, so I had to get a credit card for the first time a couple years ago. And my score went up, even though I had taken on debt. Technically. I pay it off every month. I've never accrued any interest on it, but it should tell you something that they're scoring you like it's a game, and that you score points when you do financially maybe unwise things. Not necessarily, but it may be unwise.
It's a game we don't. It's a game we don't. Sorry, it's a game we don't control either.
It's the game we don't control.
Yeah.
And the score may not mean what you think it means.
Right.
Yeah, I just was considering how funny that is, or nonsensical the system is. It's built to sort of cage you in a way, because that's how the debtors make their money. And another final thought that I had is that I have never met anyone, no matter what their job was or their income level, who didn't think about money or wealth, or when I say think about, I mean stress about. And actually some of the most successful people are the ones who worry about it the most. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Well, they pay people to worry about it for them.
Or they export that. That's really the level we're
They export.
But yeah, I think that's something to consider rather than putting in that, overtime at something that's not making you happy. You have to consider what Angelique is saying. You may be paying down your financial debt, but making the wrong investments in terms of your time or your emotional state.
And emotional state and stress, dealing with that is highly important, because stress can kill you. Can. It's proven that it can.
Leading cause of health difficulty.
It is.
Right.
Stress, anxiety, fear can just weigh you down. So
Stress and worry, wonder, concern, fear, all of those
Yeah.
things. And the opposite of that would be that gratitude side of things.
Exactly.
Gratitude and enjoying things, being thankful. So whether we look at the credit cards coming in the mail, how can we be grateful for that? If we look at that flip side, it's important because we could get overwhelmed and just get angry or frustrated at our financial state. How can we be grateful?
I'm grateful that I have the wherewithal to take that piece of mail and rip it up and throw it away, so that my daughter doesn't have to, hopefully, right off the bat, deal with it. So I'm grateful that. I know this is not what you're talking about. I'm spinning it towards me, I guess.
Here's the point, and he's
I know.
dodging it.
I am diverting like a politician. Oh my gosh.
I think the utility of money and the utility of debt is something to keep in mind. Something that I'm a collector, so I spend my money on things that just sit around my house basically until I'm ready to interact with them.
I'm with you.
And COVID brought to mind that even though I like seeing that number in my bank account, or I like the things that I've collected that in my mind will last forever and my grandkids will want to inherit them and all this stuff, there's times I wish, oh, well, I should have gone and gotten that meal, or I should have gone on that vacation. Because you never know when you'll be able to go do that again, or if you'll be able to. So
I think that's one of the gratitude part she's talking to, where you
yeah,
did that bring you joy buying that?
it did, but I think there's something to be said about spending your money when you
True.
can, or even taking on a debt
That is very true.
if you know that it'll be worth it and that you can maintain
Right.
that state,
Yeah.
and not be anxious about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense.
It also brings up that a little different point where the difference between pleasure, which is a short-term,
Very
quick
short.
hit fix,
Yeah.
like, oh, there's my favorite thing that I always collect, and there's one more, and I want one.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that pleasure, the short-term pleasure, like dragging a cigarette,
Mm-hmm.
versus long-term joy, which is, I remember that I spent that money on that trip with my mom, and now my mom's not here anymore.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So we get to check in with ourselves and say, is the thing I'm spending this money on something that's bringing me long-term joy that I'm going to feel great about forever? Or is it going to be short-term pleasure and a long-term guilt?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I think a lot of times people, financial advice focuses on save, 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 never take on debt. And I just wanted to acknowledge that there can be utility in money and utility in using those financial tools. But, like you said, a trip is fun. And so addiction is something that we need to talk about also.
Yeah, yep. And I agree with that point, as well as taking it one step beyond acknowledging money as either a problem, something to use,
Mm,
or something we're really grateful for. Like when we were talking about how do we see people? Are people a source of us to get to where we want to go?
mm-hmm.
Right.
They're a problem, they getting in our way.
That makes you.
Are we using them to get to what we
Using,
want?
makes you
Or
a
are we
user.
really grateful for who they are? Same thing with money. Money is a living, breathing thing. We might not think so because it's physical, but it has a life of its own. It affects us. It affects how we live and how we feel. So how can we be grateful for this process? Even if we get a credit card application in the mail, we can say, thank you. This means that my credit is good enough that I even deserve to receive this. Thank you very much. And thank you to myself and my self-control to say,
There
no,
you go.
this
Yeah.
is not best for me. This is not going to bring me joy. This is just a short-term pleasure. I could go out and buy some spendthrifty thing and then long-term stress and worry over it. So in every situation, whether it's the change that's at the bottom of the seat of our car, can we be grateful for that and say, hey, I'm glad that I have it, and I'm going to clean it up, take all the dust fuzzies off of it, and put it into the little change machine and get $1 from it, or, use it to give to a homeless person, or invest in putting a seed into the ground that's going to grow us a tree that's going to produce figs, Let's look at how can we be grateful for all these wonderful opportunities, and money is one of them. It's a blessing.
Philanthropy could also help you deal with it, right? That's spending your money wisely, donating,
charities and
charities,
things like that.
yeah.
Oh, it's always wonderful to be able to
be able to do that.
Even if it's just a small portion
Exactly.
of that dollar's worth of change that we have in the seat, Yes, thankfulness, gratitude.
Right, very much so.
Okay, and now it's metaphysical tool time. Today's tools consist of some healing stones, a meditation, a healing intention, also called a prayer, and a healing plant. As always, we do not encourage the worship of any healing tool. We encourage everyone to appreciate the divinity within everything. We have several options for healing stones today. Ben, what can you share with us about today's healing stones?
I have information from CosmicCuts.com. Pyrite, citrine, and tiger's eye are some of the most potent crystals for prosperity. They can help us get in the right mind space to attract abundance. They open us to material blessings and encourage an easy flow of energy and abundance. We can keep the crystals in our office and on our desk. A desk is a powerful place for attracting money, as it is the very place where we work to create it. Keeping crystals that attract money in a visible place on our desk helps enhance our motivation and fuels our ambition. You may want to put a picture of a Lamborghini up by the crystals.
Nice.
Oh, man. Visceral comedy is what I'm going for. Smell that leather. Anyway. Prosperity crystals naturally attract abundance, but also work to improve our perseverance and discipline. Having them in our office helps create positive associations that work directly with our subconscious.
Thank you, Ben. These prosperity crystals also enhance positive vibrations and help align us to receiving what we meditate upon. Here's a simple meditation we can do to attract wealth. Sit in a comfortable position. Close our eyes and place a crystal, such as this one, in our palms. Visualize whatever would or does make us feel wealthy. Maybe it's as simple as and abundant as the wealth of clean air that we breathe. Or it might be the feeling of having free time. Or it might be, that beautiful swim that we took in the river. Whatever it is that makes us feel wealthy, time with our children, things to do that make us feel joy. Whatever that is that makes us feel wealthy, feel that, visualize that. And then let that feeling of wealth fill our body, every cell, every pore, until we are absolutely plumb full of that feeling of wealth. Then let it expand a foot or two beyond our body. Then 3 feet. Breathe in that protective bubble of wealth that we have just created around us. And feel free to let that bubble expand and fill up the room, the house, the building, the planet, etc. We can enjoy the feeling and hold it with us all day. And now, today's healing intention is gratitude. Neil, what might we keep in mind about gratitude?
When we have debt, we may also have a mindset to complain about what we have to do in order to pay it off. And I speak from experience on that. Rather than complain our day away, let's turn our attention to the gifts we have been given. The gifts right in front of us. We may have the ability to breathe, see, taste, touch, or smell. We may have a lovely view to look at, such as Angelique has. We may have interactions with nature and people that feel special. No matter what our circumstance, we've been given gifts. The more gifts that we allow ourselves to see and feel grateful for, the better our life will feel. The better we feel about ourselves, the better we will behave, and the better experience we will have with our world around us. So, let's say our intention our prayer, our mantra to remember. It's, I am so grateful. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I am so grateful.
Say it often and say it with love. And as It's a Wonderful Life says, the angel, life is God's greatest gift.
Wow, my heart is feeling full over here. My bank account may be smallish at the moment, but I am so grateful for its contents, and my heart feels huge. And today's healing plant is the money tree. Isn't it lovely? This is our money tree. So the following information about the money tree is from bloomscape.com. Here's the legend of the money tree. A man was down on his luck. He prayed for prosperity. He soon discovered the money tree and took it home. He realized that from its seeds he could cultivate many more trees. He planted and cared for the seeds and made a business selling money trees to others. This is how he made his fortune. The braided trunk that you'll see here of the Chinese money tree is said to be able to trap fortune within its folds. The 5 leaves on each one of these, as you can see on this one right here, these 5 leaves typically found on a stalk are said to represent the 5 elements of balance: earth, fire, water, wind, and metal. In terms of placement, many businesses keep a mini money tree near their cash register for good fortune. Within the home, the most common placement to promote wealth is in the southeast corner. Along with its status as a luck magnet, money trees are incredibly easy to care for. They only require indirect light, which means don't put them in the sun, and infrequent watering, making them a no-fuss plant for beginners. A famous NASA study of indoor plants on air quality lists it as one of the most effective filters of harmful pollutants. Money trees are also ASPCA certified as pet-friendly. However, though it is non-toxic, it can cause digestive upset if consumed in large volumes, so please don't eat it. Whether we're looking to expand our luck, purify our air, or beautify our space, the money trees are a great addition to any space.
In the words of Kendrick Lamar, money trees are the perfect place for shade. That's how I feel.
So to sum things up, to free our mind of fear, emotional stress, and issues of spiritual unworthiness, and start feeling happier and more joyful today, we can stop and ask ourselves, where can I invest in my health and joy today? And then invest some of our time and money in healthy, joyful choices. We can also carry a little stone of abundance in our pocket, put a mini money plant in our home, and remind ourselves, I am worthy, I am wealthy, and I am grateful. So what say ye? I challenge and encourage you. How can you invest more of yourself in health and joy? Please share your thoughts and feelings so we may grow in strength and willpower together. As always, we thank you for watching and sharing time together. If you liked today's show, we'd be honored if you'd hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive all new videos. Hit the like button to let us know you like what we're doing, and hit the share button to share this message with people you care about. We ask for this because each time you share or like our video, it becomes more visible via YouTube, which allows more new people to find and watch our video, which allows them to receive inspiration and tools for their healing. Your likes, your shares support their healing. And that's what we're all about. Also, if you'd like to see more of our videos, click the green Will You button below and then scroll down. And if you'd like to mentor with me, schedule your complimentary conversation by clicking the link in the description box or go to willyougrow.com to learn more. And I'll look forward to speaking with you soon. And now, we bid you adieu. Take excellent care of your very fine self, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Always with love. From Angelique. Thanks, guys.
Great show.
We love money.
Money, 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 money.
Money!
For more information about programs offered by Will You, mentoring with Angelique, and to watch video success stories from clients, explore willyougrow.com. If you or your company are interested in inspiring our mutual audience by sponsoring this or another of our programs, let's talk about it. Boost viewer confidence and trust in your company. Call 1-833-WILL-YOU, then press extension number 6. Make sure to click the subscribe button to get reminders before upcoming shows.